Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we have a secret commander build for Lilah Undefeated Slickshot. It's one of my favourite decks that I actually own, and they are an extremely powerful commander when you're casting multicoloured instant and sorcery spells. But unfortunately, because there are only two colours, the amount of multicoloured instant sorceries available if it was your commander are very, very few. So instead, we put them inside the deck of a 5 colour commander. Quickly, I'll read out what they do. They are a 3 mana human rogue, 3/3. They have prowess, so they will become bigger as you cast non creature spells. Whenever you cast a multicoloured instant sorcery spell from your hand, you exile that spell instead of putting it into the graveyard, and as it resolves, it becomes plotted. And plotted means that in a future turn, as a sorcery, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. So the idea basically is to cast all of your powerful multicolored spells, and then in a future turn, be able to recast them again for free. So let's have a look at the deck. Okay. You can see here that the commander we've actually chosen for the deck is Omnath, Locust of All. He is a Phyrexian Elemental, 4/4, and he reads, if you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes black instead. So, if you have 20 mana at the end of your turn that you've not spent, you will be keeping that mana, and it will only become black, which means that you can use it on all of your spells in any future turn, as long as he survives. Secondly, he has, at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card if it has 3 or more coloured mana symbols in its mana cost. If you do, you add 3 mana in any combination of those colours and put it into your hand. If you don't reveal it, you put it into your hand anyway. This ability is very confusing at the start, so I will try and simplify it. Basically, the way it works is that you always draw an extra card every single turn at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. You're always drawing that extra card. You can look at it and decide if you want to reveal it if it has 3 mana symbols. Now, that can be 3 mana symbols of different colours. It can be 3 mana symbols of the same colour. All it has to have is 3 mana symbols in its mana cost. So as you can see here, all of these charms, they will trigger it. And I could add, let's use Riveteer's Charm for example. If I revealed this, I could add 3 black, I could add 3 red, I could add 2 black and a green. I could add any combination of these colours to my mana pool. But we are always drawing an extra card. So he is a card advantage engine, as well as building up our mana base. So let's get into the deck. The way I've built this deck is that I want to build up many token generators, or at least one token generator, that will slowly accrue value over the course of a game. Many of these are on instant sorcery casts, or in this case, a multicolored spell being cast. We will then control the game using all of our charm effects. There's lots of counter spells in here, lots of exiling creatures, exiling artifacts or enchantments. And then finish off opponents with our finishers over here, using all of the tokens generated earlier to run over our opponents with Titanic Ultimatum. Potentially, if you're not able to build up a board, we can also roll into the death list to drain our opponents out for massive amounts of damage. Given that we're able to store all of our mana with Omnath, we can just sit there and wait until the opponent does something, counter it if it needs to be, or let it go. And then at the end of every single turn cycle, we'll just tap all of our lands that we didn't use, store up that mana, and then eventually Depth of the Deathless is a ridiculous amount of damage. We also have a bit of a fun pick here with Epic Experiment. More or less, you can pump as much mana into this as you'd like, and then cast every instant sorcery from the top of your library up to X cards that are revealed. And as you can see, there are a lot of instant sorceries in this deck, so it can be quite fun revealing all of them, doing all the triggers, and finishing off your opponents in that way. But more specifically, let's go over some of the cards. In our ramp package, we have the usual Soul Ring and Arcane Signet. As well as that, we have a Bloom Tenter to add a mana for each colour among permanents we control, which usually is 5 with our Omnath Locus of All. We have Farseek, Felwar Stone, Elysian Carotid to get us 2 mana if we have a creature with power 4 or greater, which again, with our commander, will be possible. Sylvan Scrying to get any land. Chromatic Lantern, given this is a 5-colour deck with a lot of coloured mana requirements, we're very much going to need Chromatic Lantern. We have Command Sphere. We have a Feybearer Eld, again to add mana of each colour among permanents we control. Kadama's Reach. We have Seedborn Muse, which is ridiculous with this commander. Every single turn we can tap all of our unspent lands to add all that back into our mana pool, which will stay over the turns. As well as Ramos Dragon Engine, which is again ridiculous with our commander. We will be casting multicolored spells every single turn on every single turn cycle. He will end up with 20 +1/+1 counters, and we can remove 5 of them every turn to get 10 mana into our mana pool that will not go. We will have 10 black mana added to our mana pool on every single person's turn and every turn cycle. Ramos is ridiculous. I have won many games simply by keeping the +1/+1 counters on him and hitting people in the face with him. It is insane. We also have Verdant Mastery, which lets us hit 4 basic lands, but we do have to give one of them to an opponent if we use the 4 mana value. We get 2 of them onto the battlefield tapped and 1 of them to hand, so this is going to ramp us significantly for 4 mana. And we also have Chromatic Orrery, which means that we can spend mana as though it was mana of any colour, which is extremely useful in this deck. Again, similar to the Chromatic Lantern. It is also tapping for 5 mana, and we can also use it to draw 5 cards if our commander is on the field. You draw a card for each colour and permanents you control, which is extremely good in this deck. And let's take a closer look at the tokens package. We have the General here. He has Hexproof and Multicolored, so he's going to stick around a lot more than you would expect. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 4/4 red and white golem artifact creature token. We have Monastery Mentor, which makes a 1/1 prowess monk every time you cast a non-creature spell. We have Talrand Sky Summoner. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, you make a 2/2 flyer. And Ovika is a flying 6/6 with ward 3 and pay 3 life. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you make X red Phyrexian Goblin tokens with haste, where X is the mana value of that spell. So you can make a very, very wide board very quickly with this little package here. And it is only 4 cards, but we do have a significant amount of tutors in this deck, and many of them will grab these legendary permanents. I'm going to take a quick look at those. So we have a Mystical Tutor to grab any instant sorcery from our deck. We have Worldly Tutor to grab any creature from our deck. We have Eldamary's Call to do the same. You put any creature into your hand. A Lively Dirge is one of my very favourite tutors. You may put any creature with mana value 4 or less directly into play if you pay 5 mana. Simply tutor it from your library, put it into your graveyard, and then with the second ability, you will return it straight to the battlefield. Next, we have Concretion at Dawn. You may search your library for 3 creature cards and put them on top of your library in any order. Next we have Grim Tutor. We can put any card from your library into your hand and solve the equation. It grabs any instant or sorcery from your library into your hand. Next, let's have a quick look at the removal package. We have Bedevil, destroying any target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Malakans is a very interesting one. So you can deal X damage to any target where X is the number of colours that the spell you cast is whenever you cast a multicoloured spell. So if you cast any one of the charms, you're also going to be pinging any target for 3. We also have Void Rend, an uncounterable to destroy any target non-land permanent. Iridium Maelstrom, destroy each creature that isn't all colours. So this will leave our Omnath alone. And Ruinous Ultimatum will destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. This is a very, very scary card if you have Lilah on the battlefield, because obviously when you do cast this, it will then become plotted and you can then recast it the next turn. This can act more or less as a time walk, as your opponents will not want to be replaying out their permanents because they will get wiped again the next turn. Although you do not have to recast the next turn, you can hold it for as long as you'd like. Next, have a quick look at the draw package. We have Archmage Emeritus, which will draw us a card every single cast an instant sorcery. Whirlwind Thought, draw a card whenever you cast a non-creature spell. Tome of the Guild Pact is a mana rock that will also draw your card whenever you cast a multicolored spell. Cruel Ultimatum makes an opponent sacrifice a creature, discard 3 cards, lose 5 life, and then you do the opposite. You bring a creature card back from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, and gain 5 life. Inspired Ultimatum will do a similar job. You will have yourself gain 5 life and deal 5 damage to any target, and then you draw 5 cards. And next, have a quick look at the utility package. We've got Sensitized Veining Top to reorder the top 3 cards of your library. This is very useful for Omnath, as you can put a spell with 3 mana pips on top of your library to reveal with Omnath, which will then refund the 1 mana you spent to put that card there. We have Scroll Rack to do a very similar thing. You put as many cards from your hand back on top of your library as you'd like after drawing that many cards. So you replace the top cards of your library with the cards in your hand. And we do have a lot of fetch lands in this deck to then reshuffle away the cards we don't want from Scroll Rack. We have a Snapcaster Mage as well to recast anything we have in our graveyard at flash speed. We have Sylvan Library, again, to reorder the top cards of our library. I wouldn't recommend paying 4 life to draw a card, but in certain cases it can be useful. Teach by Example is one of our copy spells. So this will copy the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn. Hello the Painter. This will allow us to sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater to copy a spell. We have Leyline of Guild Pact. This is mostly just for mana fixing. And we have Vedalken Ori, which we can use to cast any spell at instant speed, which, given we are a control deck, is very, very helpful. And let's have a quick look at the protection package. We have Lightning Greaves, obviously, because we want to protect our commander. If he does die, we do lose all the unspent mana, so we have to be careful that he sticks around. Invert Polarity is an extremely good counterspell in this deck. You would choose a spell you wanted to counter, you then flip a coin. If you win the flip, you gain control of the spell. If you lose the flip, you counter the spell. It is a win-win card every single time. Next we have Samite Elder. They will give all of our creatures protection from the colours of target permanent you control until end of turn. Obviously we'll be targeting Omnath, giving all of our creatures protection from all colours. We have Teveris Protection, a classic. Void Slime is a very good counterspell. You counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. And Punish Ignorance. Counter target spell, its controller loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. This I potentially would swap out with a Deny the Witch. It seems like a direct upgrades. Counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. Its controller loses life equal to the number of creatures you control. And we also have, in the maybe board, a Just Guy's Ascendancy. Could be a very good ad. It wasn't in my original build, but it's certainly a good option. Seeing as we can untap all of our Bloom Tender effects to keep going and casting more and more and more. We also have Time of Need, which will search for any legendary creature card and put it into our hand. And with the Secret Commander, we need a lot of ways to tutor it, so it's a very good option. I also could go into the charms, but given how many options there are in them, if you wish to have a look, I recommend opening up the deck on Architect and taking a look yourself. Then give indestructible your creatures, draw your cards, destroy things, counter spells. All of them have extremely good options, and you can just hold them up until they're useful, and they'll be useful in many more circumstances than a simple counter spell would. Alright, well, thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice rest of the day, and yeah, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.